Brighton being a coastal town, everybody flocks to the sea. We have a huge amount of beach, we have a huge amount of tourists, we have a huge amount of consumers of single-use plastic throughout the whole of the city itself.
There's a lot of waste in this city, more waste than your average city. We have a lot of tourism here. We are a massive event city. We've got the largest gay pride in Europe. That brings a lot of people into the city and more waste.
These are really, really important events for our city and the economic sustainability of the city, but they're also important in terms of getting it right for the environment as well.
So much litter is entering the ocean every day, and 100,000 marine mammals die every year because of that. Scientists recently predicted that by 2050 there'll be more plastic in the ocean than fish. It really is a big problem everywhere, and Brighton is contributing to it.
We organise these big beach cleans. People come down and they go across the beach and they take off litter. We also weigh it in.
We picked up 1/4 of a tonne of rubbish in 3 hours.
And if you times that by the urban environment of the Sussex coast and the English coast, this is how much waste we're actually dealing with. A lot of this waste is what we call ghost gear, which is fishing nets, broken nets, bits of line. It gets tangled up with the seaweed. The fish think it's food, the crustaceans think it's food. It's some of the worst stuff. It's monofilament plastic. It will take about 700 years to degrade. Fishermen just hack it off when their nets get tangled and they chuck it in the sea.
Today we are doing a Halloween silent disco beach clean. So many people come into these beach cleans that have never cleaned the beach before. They come along because it's a fun day out, and through that they realise they're cleaning the beach and they're seeing actually how much is on the floor, because you don't see it at first look. When you actually get in, you see all these tiny little microplastics and things, and then they come back and say, wow, I can't believe how much we found. So we think that we're actually pulling in those people who wouldn't have thought about it originally.
But now in terms of community action, it's all across the Brighton coast, and there's going to be hundreds of people who are going to come through, and there's so much positivity about there. People come and they want to join out, and it just gets bigger and better every year.
Well, originally the idea came from where have the water fountains gone. When I was a child, I can remember when I went into town, I didn't ever think of buying bottled water. There was always just a water fountain around. And so, just in the last couple of months, we set up Refill Brighton. Over 100 businesses have now become refill stations where people can just take a bottle in and ask for it to be refilled with no kind of embarrassment or awkwardness, instead of buying a single-use plastic water bottle. And also, we have an app which you can download from refill.org.uk. It would just tell you at any moment in time where your nearest refill stations are. It's got a map of the whole city and also of the whole country.
Deposit return schemes are something that we are starting to look at in England in a really, really positive way. It's happened on the continent for a long time, and of course it used to happen in the UK. We used to have our glass pop bottles, and my dad remembers taking them back and getting a penny back. And that's because we valued the material, so the glass was really highly valued. And unfortunately with plastic, we now have a throwaway material that is cheap, so we don't value the material in the way we should. However, that is changing, so deposit return schemes are looking for us to revalue that plastic. So what you would expect as a consumer is that you would maybe pay 5p or so more for your bottle of pop or whatever. You can deposit that back and you would get that money back for that material. The great and exciting thing is that we will probably no longer see plastic bottles on beach cleans, because effectively that's money sitting on the beach. Deposit return schemes will be instrumental in creating a more circular economy.
We very much support the Plastic Free Pledge, which has been set up by Claire Potter, and she is trying to get bars and restaurants in the city to stop using plastic straws.
This is like 250 straws that were picked up on one beach clean alone. So that was just peer-to-peer, which is about a mile. We meet quite a lot of councillors. They come to our beach cleans, which is brilliant. One who comes quite a lot is Councillor Phelan McCafferty. We worked directly with Councillor McCafferty to develop a motion which was supported by a petition we were running online.
It's a whole load of trailblazers who are deeply concerned about the environment. They're already in the community. Part of our proposal today is talking about using their expertise and getting rid of single-use plastics in the community.
But at the last full council meeting, it seems that all three parties put in separate motions around single-use plastics, but we asked us a little bit more by asking the council to sign up to the plastic-free pledge, and that went through.
Brighton Hove City Council has committed unanimously to tackle single-use plastic in a variety of forms. They will be producing a report about plastic use in the city and how businesses could be helped on that transition from taking away single-use plastic and maybe going for a more sustainable alternative. The complexities of removing plastic from the city are vast. So in 10 years' time, it would be brilliant to think that Brighton and Hove was a plastic-free city.
We just feel that it's really our duty now to protect the ocean. Especially as humans, we've created that problem, and we feel like we're now the ones that should be reversing that problem.
If there's anywhere in the country that can lead on this, it's definitely Brighton and Hove. It was the birthplace of places like The Body Shop, it's the home of places like Hisby.
I think that Brighton definitely is full of people who really are conscious about the environment and are really loving the kind of creative side to how we're pulling it all together. We're just trying to encourage people to take action on their own. Clean the beach, stop using as much single-use plastic, and stop littering.
Sometimes you just need to get down and dirty, get on the beach, get a bag, pick the litter up.